Welcome. I forgot my hat. Oh, well. Welcome, Angry Faithful, to the What the Hell special edition on Sunday, where we had a little thing happen this weekend, didn't we?
We did?
I'm fairly...
You just kinda all of a sudden said, "Hey, let's do a special on a news thing," and I've been kinda out of it a while. Did something happen?
N- Here's a better question. Why haven't we been on for a week? Were we doing some top secret stuff? No. Anyways.
Dude, party hard. I was
Basically,
jamming with Tone Loc.
basically what happened was over the weekend, America kidnapped somebody. So, yeah, that happened.
America went to bring someone to justice, and that's all we did. No other motive.
Here's the whole skinny of that whole thing. We're gonna go over right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the crimes of Maduro, what had happened. Now at this time, some of this stuff is, you know what? I'm gonna read it off. First thing is narco-terrorism, accusing the leader of the Cartel of the Suns, which the Cartel of the Suns is named that because of the symbols on the generals' lapels. Basically, the Cartel of the Suns means the generals, and Maduro was head of that cartel. Cocaine importation. They have Colombia was shipping. Colombia cartels were shipping their products through Venezuela, and the Venezuelan people government was implicit to it. Money laundering and corruption, which we all know what happened with that. Violent crimes, crimes against humanity. Now, all these allegations were done not by the administration of this year. It was actually back in 2006, I believe. That's when the ball started going. And then Obama put it up as the Cartels of the Sun as a narco-terrorism organization. In the eve of 2020, Biden's administration put it up as I think $25 million. Yeah, okay, $25 million bond. Oh, that jumped.
Reward.
That jumped heavily. Anyway.
Reward for capture, and then Marco came out and made the statement during the press conference. We just saved $50 million.
Yeah,
because they don't have to pay out the reward now.
I know. I had all my plans and everything to do that, and gosh, now I can't do that. There goes all my months and months of planning to go to Venezuela and capture them. Which,
can you go ahead and change your vacation leave with your employer?
No, I'll end up doing something else. I'll figure something out. Anyways, that was a big jump. We went from 28 to like 6 so far. Yeah. As of right now, Maduro and his wife are captured and going through prosecution on federal charges through federal New York judges. We don't have it now as of yet of any district drug judges trying to stop whatever Trump was doing. Of course, this is just a day after the fact. We'll have more information on next Friday for you on our regular schedule. Now, saying that, there is some people that are talking that the reason why it was kind of easy, which it wasn't easy to do what we did. Uh, yeah, hi, how's it going? Sorry if I'm reading off of notes, so I can't go in the comments that fast. But thank you for the comments, everybody that's commenting on this. Uh, anyways,
Howdy.
yes. Anyways, a number of things that have happened that is really strange, and we'll go over all this stuff as of right now. The reason we went over the crimes, the reasoning for the policies. A lot of people are saying that the reasoning. Let me go ahead and put this up right there, so everybody can see that we're getting comics. The reasoning isn't just oil. The oil thing was documented. The reason why we were doing it was back in 2015. And that reasoning was Venezuela's government at the time decided to take over all the oil refineries. During that time frame, thank you very much. Finally, a normal stream. Yeah, finally. We're just going, and just to relate everything, we're just going to go over the stuff of what is happening. Yes, Bill does have a MAGA hat. Doesn't mean we're all MAGA here. We're just reporting on what's going on in Venezuela right now and the reasoning why this is happening. Another thing that is happening right now is with the oil refineries. What's going to happen is we're going to take back and the oil refineries that the U.S. government had placed there. There's going to be a lot of challenges with those oil refineries. The reason why I say that is a good portion of them, only 20% of them, are operational. So it is going to have to go through a big maintenance position. So if you are in oil refinery maintenance working, doing those big, you might get a good paycheck doing that in Venezuela. But I would wait at least 6 to 7 months before you start searching those things. Maybe 3 months, because as of right now, the Venezuelan vice president has taken control. I gotta put that in a thing. Hopefully it deletes it as soon as it goes. But anyways, as of right now, I would look forward to people that are doing that. Oh, it deleted the chat automatically. Thank you.
Well, in 2007, that's when Venezuela nationalized. Their second wave of nationalization of the oil industry, and they seized control of the last privately owned oil projects. They took over the infrastructure. ExxonMobil and Conoco refused the new terms. So basically, their equipment became Venezuela's. So Trump isn't taking the oil infrastructure, he's returning it to the companies that Venezuela originally stole it from.
Yeah, and let me look up that real quick. Because someone commented, what was it, 25 years since they had any upkeep on them? Probably not as probably more than that. And I'm not saying that because, I know for a fact, but they probably had Chinese delegates go in and try to repair some of the stuff. So it's one of those things is we'll know when they find out type deal. But you're right. It has been about 25 years since they had like really good people going in and fixing those plants.
Also, the tankers themselves were some of the oldest, least maintained tanker fleet in the world.
Oh yeah, have you
As
seen?
as far as the environmentalists are concerned, the environmentalists should be happy because Venezuela, Maduro did not care about the extraction techniques for the oil. So nothing was environmentally friendly. The tankers were pollution belching behemoths.
Mhm.
And now we're going to be getting the upgrades to the tankers, upgrades to the equipment. And they say it might take 10, 15 years to upgrade the equipment. The big reason that upgrades take a long time in the United States is regulations. Well, they're not going to have the environmentalist regulations controlling Venezuela, and most of them are bullshit anyway. They don't really help the environment. The reason for the regulations is to slow down the process because the environmentalists don't want the oil.
Yeah.
It isn't to help the environment.
Yeah, we also got another comment. So at this point, would it be cheaper to replace them with new and safer equipment, also putting in newer safety standards? Uh, Kind of a tit for tat for that one. Uh, Most of the time, you're going to put in newer equipment anyways, and this is coming from people that I know that actually replace those big machines and everything. What they do is they take the motors on a lot of them and they rewire them. They put they don't really put in a new motor. They refit them in newer processes. Like they rewire the copper. I mean, yes, you're right. It would be maybe a little bit cheaper, but it wouldn't be sustainable. It's one of those things that uh, use the stuff that you have there, and hopefully you can get it up and running. And doing like I lost my thought on that one. Uh, Basically, what you're doing is, yeah, okay. So most of the time, wouldn't you more or less keep the old rigs and everything like that, and just hook them up with newer, like motors and other stuff? And yes, I'm talking to you, Kyle Miner. Miller. Sorry if I mess up your name or about names. But you're also thinking about more or less, that'd be a better question. Are you talking about more or less making a whole new facility or revamping the whole new facility? Because I'm talking about revamping the new facility. I mean, you can revamp it by just putting newer and faster equipment. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense too.
Also, any pipeline that hasn't been used, as far as I know, this can be confirmed by our pipeline person in the chat. Anything that hasn't been used, it degrades so much it can't be. If you haven't had oil flowing through it, then it becomes unusable, and that's what's happening in California right now.
Okay.
And a reason that gas prices are probably going to go up soon, especially in
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there. It's going to go up between Arizona, Nevada, and California. The reason why that is because California was supporting all those ones.
and Oregon and Washington.
Oh wow, the last one you built was in 1970s. Okay. Well, still that would be actually the other reasoning of, setting yourself up to go to Venezuela and get a job out there. Is, I mean, you probably get, oh dude, those oil field guys that redo places like that, bank, like bank big time money. I mean, it's hard work, and I praise the men that do it because they work their asses off on those things, on just rebuilding them. Kyle, how long does it usually take to rebuild one? while we go over that. Yeah, they are leaving now. I guess you're getting probably about 2 minutes off the time frame. So,
It's
but
expected $6 to $8 a gallon, especially after the Valero refinery shuts down in April.
I'm hearing $10. Okay, it takes about 5 to 10 years. Okay, cool. Now that was just the oil stuff. There's other minerals and everything deposits that we're trying to get after, and I repeat, this isn't us US trying to get all this stuff and we're taking over. No, that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen, and we'll find out probably more about it later on. Probably by the end of the week, probably by Friday when we get back in. What is going to happen is Trump said we're taking control. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of I didn't know fully Arizona, but I knew a lot of them were moving to Texas. But a lot of the stuff that's actually happening, going to happen in Venezuela, they still have, I think, 4 more people they have to capture.
That's a really fluid situation. They're gonna have to identify who is militarily still beholden to the narco, that. So, yeah, who knows? Oh, gas prices $1.97. I just filled up in Tulsa 2 days ago, $1.93.
Really?
$1.93 in Tulsa.
Man, I bought it like $2.05. Yeah, we're probably going to taking over the silver mines. I don't think it's going to be in Ohio. Oh wow. We're probably going to have mining companies from the US go over there and start mining the silver. But what's going to happen with that, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is when US companies go over and start mining for like materials such as silver, gold, lithium, all that kinds of stuff, we hire locals to work on those mining companies. So it still benefits those countries. And a lot of people would want, what they want to believe is, oh, U.S. is taking care of that. They're going to control it. It's okay, Bill. They're going to control it. So the country's going to basically falter because the U.S. is taking everything. We're not taking anything. Even with the oil stuff beforehand, before Maduro actually happened to have that, before he took control of those, we were the companies of those oil refineries. Basically, what they ended up doing was they were giving shares to the country of Venezuela. So if those companies went up in price, guess what? The Venezuelan people would have money coming to them because they're selling their oil. That's what a lot of these deals actually happen. And all that. It just irks me, and we'll get into it in a little bit, how the mindset of people believe, hey, guess what? We're stealing everything. We're not stealing anything. We're taking something. They already have oil refineries there, which we would give them our Saudi oil is a lot thinner than Texas oil. So when they would get ours is really hard to process. So they would ship it.
Our refineries have been tooled to accept that,
Our
and it would take a lot to retool them. They already accept the heavy crude in Venezuela. The issue is this is going to kill Canada, possibly.
yeah.
Because
Well,
we get heavy crude from Canada for our South Texas refineries, and Carney hasn't wanted to make a deal with us, hadn't wanted to open up and finish the Keystone XL pipeline, which he very well could have done. So our reliance on Canadian oil, just like our reliance on a lot of other Canadian products, as Trump has gone around the world and replaced what we get from Canada, we start getting the heavy crude from Venezuela, it could kill Canada depending
yeah.
on how much we do, because they don't have a pipeline that's significant to get their heavy crude to other countries around the world. The majority of it comes to us.
Okay. That might suck a little bit in the long run, but they'll probably end up making deals after a while.
Also, this is going to help the Ukraine war effort because we're going to be replacing Venezuela is going to be replacing the crude that Russia sells.
Okay. And Kyle is saying even if we use outdated equipment from the US, it would still be better than what they have now. So we could recycle old equipment that way. Oh, that'd be actually interesting.
It's kind of what Elon has done with power by taking closed natural gas plants in Europe, and he brought the components over to create his own power source for Colossus 2 in Memphis.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Another thing that, and we'll go, I don't know if we'll do the Raising Cane's little speech afterwards. But what we're going after right now, after that, is how we actually did do it. And a lot of people are saying that Maduro, and I don't think this is true. This is just a theory on certain aspects. Maduro actually wanted to be captured, was tired of going to one place to another. That's the reason why we also implicated his wife, and she came along with. But with all the damages that we did, I mean, even if it was just a fake show of force, we, I mean, even the Hugo Chavez bombing was classic. Did you hear about that one?
The Hugo Chavez bombing?
Yeah.
His gravesite or something?
Yeah. They were like, while we're here, boom, we're gonna blow this up. Uh, that was hilarious. But if you don't know, Hugo Chavez was one that got this all started up. Basically, got Maduro to get arrested. But I think it was the last 4 to 5 years where China and Russia put their best equipment for Venezuela to secure their Venezuela's borders. I think it's even closer to like 2 to 1 year here recently, like a couple of months. But they wanted to secure their oil stuff they were getting from Russia and China were getting from Venezuela. So they gave them their best equipment. What they didn't realize was their best equipment was from Temu and Wish, and we ate through it like it was candy and asking for more. And when they didn't have any more, we're like, well, we're going to take the guy and just run. That's what happened.
And now China is going to give second thoughts to Taiwan.
Yes.
Well, geez, our stuff really doesn't work against the U.S. Oops. Oh, and then I like what Trump did and made the people of Venezuela Yeah, and it energized the protests here. The planned protest. I saw a good video of they simultaneously had switched four different main protests to pro Venezuela protests.
Yeah.
A good video I saw on that. And then you've got the world leaders. The world leaders, I have on X a list that is world leaders. So when something big happens, I can go click on that, and all I'm seeing are posts by world leaders. And they were real cautious. Oh yeah, we got rid of Maduro. We never really saw him as a leader, but so they were real cautious in that dividing line. But then you got Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, Syria, North Korea, Korea, and Belarus uh, all recognized Maduro as the leader. So yeah, but I thought Trump was an agent of Putin, which would mean he wouldn't do anything against Putin, but Putin is pissed at him. Okay, however that goes. Yeah. Hoping Iran's next. I saw I saw one from Australian news. People were commenting, "Get Albanese next."
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, and I'm going back a little bit about the protests with Venezuela, or not even the protests of Venezuela, the celebration in Venezuela, all the celebrations happening with all Venezuela's, but and the downside of that, what's happening with that is we have protests here in the United States saying, "Oh, uh, bad for Trump for doing that." And I'm about to tell you something about that. Uh, the Chinese Communist Party, the linked nonprofit, is behind the pro Maduro anti Trump protests in New York City. People's Forum has admitted to receiving over $20 million from Naval Sea, an individual with well documented ties to CCP and living in Shanghai. Shanghai. Words are not my forte. The communists are mad at Trump arresting their communist tyrant. These funds were funneled by shell companies and donor advised funds per House committee reported release in 2025. People's Forum has indicted protests, riots across the U.S., including violent demonstrations against immigration and custom law enforcement and disrupting occupations of college campuses across the U.S. Basically, what I'm trying to get at on that is, yeah, it's being paid for by the CCP, and they're using the billionaire to do it. And he's going through shell companies to push it through. So I've seen this one video. Let me see if I can pull it up on X. It's been constant where this guy was, it's a reporter for, and I'm gonna keep on saying reporter instead of like independent journalism. They're reporters. Right? It's your decision to see if they're good or bad. Some of them are just asking questions towards people on like campuses or doing the protests. And a lot of these people don't understand they're getting paid to do communist propaganda, which this has been happening for probably since the Reagan administration. And it all started with that, but it started with yeah, if you have that video, Bill, go ahead and pump it up.
Yeah, this is one I watched where they were kind of the planning behind the scenes of the switch to pivot to well, trade in the Palestinian flags for the Venezuelan flags.
Ah,
A few of us stayed up all night last night once we heard the news, conferring with each other, conferring with other organizers. And by 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, we put out the call for demonstrations to happen today, Saturday, January 3rd, less than 12 hours after the bombing and kidnapping of the president of Venezuela. You have tens of thousands of people. I think we're in a watershed moment, epic moment, and we should just be raging. We should be angry. We should be in the streets. It's a class war. It's a global war. It's an anti-imperialist war. More than 100 cities on less than 12 hours notice. That's a harbinger of what's coming. We had a demonstration in Washington, and the 50-51.
oh wow, yeah, I bet they are making a killing.
We're going to the other one. And off they went. Today, in the early morning of January 3rd, hours after the Answer Coalition and others called these demonstrations today, 50-51 immediately wanted to collaborate. They were saying, we want to co-host this today. The reason the demonstrations went from like 60 at 10 o'clock this morning to like 100 by 11:30 was because of the entrance of these other organizations that have been struggling against Trump, but on more or less on domestic issues. So it's really very, very promising.
With us once again on the show, Manolo de los Santos, who's the executive director of the People's Forum and also a researcher with the Tricontinental Institute for Social Research. Manolo.
The U.S. is actually a rogue state, that the U.S. has no respect for the UN Charter, has no respect for international law.
Dr. Vijay Prashad, the executive director of the Tricontinental Institute.
He's an extremely humble man. He is a reluctant politician, and I feel terribly for him as a person. There is nothing in his character that suggests this kind of treatment. Also, people on the left will turn their back on Nicolas Maduro Moro and Celia Flores, and I refuse to do so.
Okay, Bill. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's just really funny that here's another thing. Kyle made a good point. The flag companies are probably making a fortune right now. Both U.S. flags and
well, Eugene, a few of us stayed up on
both U.S. flags and Venezuela flags. Here's another thing that's kind of weirded me out, because if you look at those protesters, how do you get the banner that fast? I know some companies can do it fast, but
yeah, and there was I saw specifically one that was 4 different protests in 4 different cities, all having the same printed banners.
yeah, do they have those? Do they have those banners like made up and ready to go?
I wonder if they have their own publishing companies. And he mentioned that we're against the UN Charter. Fuck the UN Charter. Kick them the hell out. Anyway, that's my piece on that.
I can believe insiders are helping them, but okay, think about it this way, okay? I can believe the insiders are helping them. I mean, if you can make like a blank slate for any, like, whatever you're going to go for, then you make a banner. You can send those out. But the banners that are saying like, well, I guess you could say that the banners are being made by them at a fast rate, but that's really fast. I mean, you can't have insiders on a dev group takedown of a head of a cartel.
How fast was Kinko's when it was around? And you only have to have one person design the banner and then blast it across the country on the internet to the different publishing companies.
Maybe about an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Exactly. So all they had to do is they have one person coordinating it, and then go here, print these, boom, and they could use any printing company. You go down to Office Depot. They could send it to Office Depot, but I'm sure they've got their own, like you said, insider people that are already ready. But you got to also remember there was what was it, 200 to 300 organizations that were together just for that No Kings protest. Those groups are still coordinated against Trump, against America. They're still together. That's that 50501 that showed up in the video, the indivisible 50501. Move on there, and then what's her name of the teachers union?
Yeah. Well,
you know.
from what Kyle says, it's 3 days, and that's fast. So yeah, I mean, unless you have your own equipment and everything, and I bet you could get it a lot faster, depending on that.
Well, if they're already linked with companies ready to print for the other protests.
Well, not even other protests. Like all you have to do, those banners, what Trump is doing is bad. It doesn't matter what Trump is doing, as long as you can have it printed out beforehand. It's like a blank thing to whatever Trump says. He could be giving out millions of dollars to everybody. He's like, you know what? Off of all the tariffs and everything, everybody gets $1 million, and they'll still protest. And it's like, whatever Trump is doing is bad. You have that big banner. It's a blank slate universal banner. So I guess it's just like wrapped up, and it's like, oh, we got to dust this thing off. Boom. You know what I'm saying now?
Yeah, I think printing and distribution could happen faster than that with a big organization. They're set up. You got to remember the hundreds of millions of dollars that's behind these groups.
Yeah,
which are depending more on their big benefactors now instead of our tax dollars. Note how far the Democrats' coffers have sunk after U.S. aid was cut.
Yeah, see, they would have to have the backing. Kyle's saying that it's about $8,000 for that. So yeah, I had a T-shirt guy, and I think he spent about $5,000 to $6,000. I'm not saying the same thing, but it takes a lot to do that type of stuff. Hell, the cheapest T-shirt printer with just ink, that cost me about $3,000, which I still need to find and hook up and maybe one day make T-shirts. But
in 2026, investigations and financial reports show that the No Kings movement and the partner organizations are backed by an estimated $294 to $300 million in funding.
Oh, wow.
I think they can afford to print some signs quick.
Yeah. Okay, and now what we're going to go over is the Raising Cane's speech. On this speech, I have to say this, okay? And I said this last night. I don't know how each of those people that were in that shot and the press didn't say, sirs, could you like calm down a little bit? Because you'll all have hard-ons. I'm surprised each person in this, and we'll show it right now. I'm surprised each of these people didn't have hard-ons.
Can I add one other thing, an answer to a statement that you just made before we start this?
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as the signs, how? No Kings movement achieves rapid signage production through a combination of professional partnerships, decentralized digital resources, and hyper-local community efforts, professional and rapid response printing. National organizers utilize established commercial networks to ensure high-quality signage. Rapid turnaround shops. Groups partner with professional sign shops like Yard Sign Plus, which offers proofs within 1 hour, and same-day production for bulk orders. Local printing hubs. For quick local distribution, organizers encourage supporters to use chain retailers like Staples, FedEx, or OfficeMax for same-day large format poster printing, and then pro bono local shops. Independent shops such as Basecamp Printing have historically provided free printed signs to posters on the protesters on the morning of major events.
Yeah, okay. So, well, they actually, okay, and we'll get into that this real quick so we can show this video because it's a long video, everybody. It's about 10 minutes long, so just bear with us. Yeah, it's probably a big, massive factory shop. Exactly, Kyle. But the No Kings protest was actually like 2 weeks, so they still had prep time. But I think they might have like a massive factory shot that just pumps these things out within like a couple of minutes.
The No Kings protests, the root of it started in November the previous year.
Yeah,
So
see,
it is still going. I did an analysis on that where we were thinking that, oh, No Kings is gone, and analysis with Grok, he said that don't count that out, and he went into detail about how they are still organizing behind the scenes. So it is still going and growing.
I like that. Dan. And just like that, liberals hate Hispanics. That's a good one. Thank you very much for that. But we're going to go with this video real quick.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice 2 indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal, an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence agency partners and law enforcement teammates in an unprecedented operation. We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional.
Allergy meds were draining my wallet, hoping it would cure my dog Minnie's obsessive paw licking and scratching.
This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force. And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise, it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose: to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets. In early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel. So as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49. And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. Simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission. Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Well, one thing before we head down to other things on this. Yeah, we're bullies by Joey Flores. I want you to listen to this perfectly well. If we were the bullies, then why is Venezuela and all the people in there going out celebrating what we've done in the capture of a terrorist? That's what I want to understand. If you can comment that, Joey Flores 6096, please. But it was okay for Biden to leave. Yeah. That's still not focused on right now. But yeah, I like this. We're bullies. That's not what America is about. Yeah, no. It wasn't about being a bully. It's about freeing from a dictator, which is in Venezuela. And we get in there, take them out, and guess what? Every person that's Venezuelan have been crying with happiness. Tears of joy. That's why I want you to understand. So next time you have a comment like that, hey, go ahead, put it on there. I don't care. Why don't you realize someone's going to FO? But anyways, yeah, we have some bad stuff happen for the leaving billions of dollars in military equipment in Afghanistan. That was ridiculous. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Also, and that's what we'll go ahead and let me bring this up. And I want everybody to understand this is a Venezuelan upset at the legacy media. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. It takes me times to get all this stuff.
Dear American media, please stop using these three phrases in your Venezuela coverage because you're not being neutral. You're legitimizing a dictatorship. Listen, I've worked in American media my whole life. I've even published in the New York Times. And yes, they've been one of the outlets getting this wrong. So here's what to stop saying. 1, President Maduro. Maduro claims he won the election in July 2024 with no proof. The opposition, led by Edmundo Gonzalez and Maria Corina Machado, won by a landslide and have the receipts. So say dictator, autocrat, authoritarian leader, de facto ruler. Stop granting him the title president. 2, regime change. Regime change makes this sound like Iraq or Afghanistan to the American public. Use democratic restoration, constitutional order, a democratic transition, a return to what voters chose. 3, Delcy Rodriguez is a moderate. Speaking French or studying abroad doesn't make someone a moderate. Delcy Rodriguez is Maduro's VP. She handles the oil and is responsible, along with his power brokers, for one of the biggest refugee crises in our hemisphere and for torturing and imprisoning thousands of innocent people. If she replaces Maduro, it's not an ouster, it's a reshuffling. If this coverage affects you, share this. Send it to your American friends and tag journalists and editors and outlets, because if the US public doesn't get the words right, they'll never understand what we're setting out to do. Si eres venezolano o latinoamericano, comparte este video con tus amigos estadounidenses, con publicaciones, periódicos, editores, que tenemos que empezar a usar la terminología adecuada para lo que está pasando en Venezuela.
Yeah. So that's coming from a Venezuelan. Forgot to do that. Yeah, we do need to get the VP next. What we're looking at right now is the next one up is the VP. Hopefully, we can restructure to get the actual person that's actually supposed to be the president of Venezuela. But you also got to get rid of 4 of the generals also that are more or less in charge of the military there. Hopefully, what happens is we can, not we as the Venezuelan people, can get in there, get a newer person in there, get rid of the cartel. But in all reality, PA Dutch. That's funny. But yeah, we took an hour of your time. Thank you all that are actually listening to us and everything.
Oh, hey, there's the guy who says he doesn't speak Spanish.
Yes, Kyle. Kyle.
Now I have this is not a product endorsement, and it's better if someone does speak Spanish, but let's go ahead and put this product out.
Direto de Caracas, chegou Madurinho, o prisioneiro mais procurado do mundo, com recompensa de $50 milhões e muita história para contar. Traga ele algemado numa missão radical da Delta Force.
Señor cobarde, venga por mí, aquí lo espero en Miraflores, no se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
Com bandeirinha, comida de cela e algemas de verdade. Leve pra base, interrogue e mostre quem manda. O Madurinho, o prisioneiro mais procurado do mundo.
You know, I saw that. And I think to myself right now, I would buy that product. I would next toy for my son. Yeah, dude, not even for your son. You keep it for yourself on that one. You just reminisce, okay? If your son wants to touch it, you're just like, no. Daddy says no. That's daddy's toy. This is my menudo.
I'm waiting for this to appear in Venezuela.
Oh yeah, that's probably coming next. But yeah, just to let everybody know, we have shows. Usually we're on Fridays, Wednesdays, and on Mondays. Mondays is a sports show, 7:00. Wednesday is our X show that we were only on X. I got the Amish for Trump action figure. That's awesome.
That pushed him over the top in Pennsylvania. I tell you, Scott Pressler getting that Amish vote.
Yeah, you gotta be praising that
what
game.
What on in Pennsylvania? It was Scott Pressler and the Amish vote.
Yeah, he he went out and just decimated Pennsylvania, just getting the Amish vote. But just to let everybody know, Mondays is our sports show, Nerd Sports, 7 o'clock. Wednesdays, X only. You can only view this on X because freedom of speech is more valuable on X. And also, Fridays are political banter, which this coming week we are going to go over the Iran stuff. Because I wanted to do like a whole big show for today, and we only have an hour for this. So, but also, just to let everybody know now, the most information that Venezuela is getting their stuff from is from X now. They're going to have pilot programs for Starlinks to get internet to people.
Free Starlink for 30 days.
Yeah. So some people are actually helping out the world instead of destroying it like some other side. Just saying.
And if you have any suggestions for topics, something you'd like for us to cover, throw it in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. I look at the comments all the time. Nobody else does. And I get shit on from a lot of people. But
the other thing about the comments for me is David always says hey, check out the comments we got from TikTok. And I go, I don't have that Chinese spyware on my phone.
It's American spyware in there. But anyway, not yet. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
Yeah, I'm Wild William.
Love you guys. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Bye.